We're talking about the current state of affairs in the NFT space, including where there are isolated wins right now and the general market activity that we're seeing. As usual, nothing in this video is financial advice. We are not financial advisors. The NFT space is incredibly risky, so always do your own research and make sure that you hit the like button and smash the subscribe button if you're interested in daily NFT content. I think Easy's about to smash me. That's how that's how it's looking.
Yeah, I definitely have some choice comments for you. We should probably take a look at the project that you just got airdropped a nice check for. And yeah, let's dive in,
Well, yeah, I mean, look, I think a lot of people in the audience are going to say, oh, he's talked about this project a lot, but I think it's timely based on what we were just talking about, which is just how like aggressively overexposed I am to NFTs now, like because I just got a 6-figure airdrop. So,
Well, that's the thing, bro. How much did you spend on the absolute start of like the Akuverse and the chapters?
the chapters. So I bought the first one for 1,700. Then I bought
Okay.
chapters 2, 3, yeah, 2 and 3 for $1,000 each, right? So that's $3,700. Then we all got airdropped 2 copies of chapter 4. So chapter 4 is free. Then I bought 2 copies of chapter 5, 2 copies of chapter 6, 2 copies of chapter 7. So those were 2,000 each. So that's another 6 grand. And then I got airdropped 4 copies of chapter 8. Then I bought
Okay.
then I bought 2 copies of chapter 9 and 1 copy of chapter 10. So I mean, look, I don't know how much it is. Maybe it's like 12 or 13, $14,000, but the airdrop has been
The airdrop just gave you 6 figures. So for me personally, the way that I would handle this, I'm a take profit maxi. I make it known my only goal is to get more of the underlying asset. I would probably try to cut some exposure. Like you could ride your entire bag completely free if you sell like 4 of the commons. You know what I mean? Or even one of the rares. Like you have so many ways to play this where you can ride it completely free and even potentially enter back in at a cheaper cost. Everything fades after reveal. It's a hard stop. Doesn't matter what your opinion is. It seems like that is the consistent cycle. And if something pumps post reveal, then it's gonna rip. But you should always bet on the fade post reveal.
I think you're right. So it's a specific, but the thing is I'm in a specific situation. Number one, I talk about these damn projects all the time. Like I'm on YouTube, I'm on Twitter talking about these projects. It would be weird if I talked about this project for the next week, including having Micah on the show, which I'm pretty sure is going to happen. So like, I'm going to talk about him, I'm going to have him on the show, and then people are just going to see me like market dumping the assets. So number one, I just can't do that.
But it's also like don't attack the floor. List them for 2.2, 2, like they don't have to be dumped on the floor. You can scale out like a trader. Like at the end of the day, this isn't, we hate to call them like an asset, but it is like you're putting money into this off of a speculative play to make more money, and it's like at this point you're just like, nah, I'm diamond handing these. This is my brand. I'm the Akutar.
Yeah, like I'm gonna just build it. I'm gonna rebrand myself just around the project. I mean, look,
Yeah.
probably worse things you can do, but like I just go all out. No, but no, I mean, look, it's something I've been holding for over a year. I have deep, super, super, super deep conviction. I think the way it realistically plays out is I think I sell 1 to 3 of the base ones, the not rare, the base ones. Worse, I think at least one I have to sell pre-reveal just because it would be irresponsible for me not to, because I'm so heavily overexposed to NFTs. It's out of control at this point. It's out of control. So I need to sell at least one. The other thing is like everyone right now is like, stay liquid, stay liquid. I couldn't be further in the opposite direction. I'm literally.
You are. My man said I backed up the Brinks truck, remortgaged the house, sold a kidney, and dumped it into JPEGs. Which honestly, like you said a good point there. When people are all like, "Hey, I'm getting liquid," myself included, it's usually like about the pump. Like when so many people are trying to exit and cut, usually it's not a bad time to buy. But it also depends on the project. Like this is the move. Like this project has hype. Dingling just swept however much, bought the mega for 60. Like there's price action happening right now. We saw it with pre-mint. We've seen it with a few projects. Even our Carton is pumping up to like 1.7 right now.
Oh,
so
shit.
for me, it's like there are isolated wins, but it's also like we're betting on people now and not just these anons taking like flyers. Like Micah Johnson's known. He has relationships and ties to a lot of people. And I feel like this is really what NFTs were kind of pictured as when we started, is like this utility to get access to the underlying company, person, group, because now you can start to build these really tight knit groups that focus on it. And this is a perfect example. Like if Micah goes the media route, makes a movie, makes a TV show, early supporters are going to have some more hand in that, whether that's creative direction, whether that's more exposure to assets in the show, whether that's characters. Like there's so many ways that you can spin it. It's wicked interesting.
Yeah, I have crazy deep conviction in it. Obviously, considering I've been holding the first three for at this point over a year, I think, yeah, I mean, because the first one I bought in February, so I have long-term cap gains on it. It's one of my highest conviction projects, but it does get to the point where you have to like take some money off the table. I mean, I've been looking at pre-mint too, which is another really high conviction play, and that one's 3x, 4x, 5x, 6x from the spots that I bought it at. I'm all in on Vayner Sports. I'm hoping that quiets down a little bit and I can add more. But yeah, I mean, look, it's a gnarly time in the market. People are saying stay liquid, and I'm just like have my fingers in my ears saying like la 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 la, like, I don't, like that's basically the approach I'm taking right now. And people in like the portal and stuff, they'll be like, "Pio, you're rich, blah blah blah." I'm like, I don't have a car, I don't have a house, and I want to like help my mom buy a better house. I'm like, I don't feel very rich, bro. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know.
You could sell your Akutars though and get a nice home. Rates are pumping. It'd be a nice little swap, some physical real estate for an airdrop.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. So here we are with Shinsei Galverse, which is the project that we minted today. And I know that you said that you don't know that much about it. I called you because I found out that you were on the allow list from our Discord, and I was like, mint this now. And you started asking questions, and I was like, no.
No, you're like, just go. I was like, oh shit, okay. Turn the computer up, fired that puppy up, and I was ready to let it fly. I had no idea what the mint cost was. I just was pressing buttons. You could have hit me with the scam site and made off with an army of dead friends. Like, well, but no, I'm curious. Like, I don't know anything about this project. I went and looked at the floor price when you told me to mint, and I was like, oh shit, this is a nice 5x. Before I even press buy, obviously I'm gonna mint this. I took then 5 minutes to read the website. It's well done, but like some of the stuff seems a little bit WordPressy to me. Like they have some like drag and drop stuff I've seen from like website makers. So there's some things that I'm like, I just don't know. But I love the tweet that they just put out about taking salaries, lockup, vesting, and a cliff period. And they're treating it like a corporation. They even said like, we're trying to make this a corporation. So like, I definitely have not done my research on this project aside from 15 minutes, 10,000 foot view.
Yeah. And I mean, think about it. We minted these for 0.08. They're basically already worth almost an ETH. There's an uptick in your net worth, in terms of percentage points. It's just getting worse and worse. It's like, I know what embarrassment of riches means now from the NFT space. Again, not that I'm rich, but it's just like kind of ridiculous when these things pump. It just gets out of hand really fast. I mean, pre-mint hit 2 ETH. I'm like, good God,
in the middle of the night too. The middle of the night, just like absurd.
And Wappy bought like, 20 of them or however many he bought, 15 or 16 at 0.34 or something like that. It's just crazy. It's out of control. But anyway, so, a couple things on this one. When notable people in the NFT space are deciding that they like a project, a lot of times that's probably your best indicator. And Smash T in the audience said Dingling also swept Galverse today. So both Dingling's floor sweeps are projects I have exposure to. You have exposure to one of them. The thing is like, my thought is anime was always going to have a vertical. It was always going to have a vertical in the NFT space. There was never going to be a situation where there wasn't going to be anime. And I think I first started talking about this either right before or right after. What's the one? Oni Force. Right after or before Oni Force came out, then you had the Sevens. The Sevens art sucked, and I think it might have even...
The Sevens was so hyped, though. Don't forget that. Like, people were, like, fighting each other for Discord access, and then they had all that fun, like, during the mint where people were, like, able to mint rares off the contract. It was so messed up. And that was, like... Well, I've never seen hype like that at the time, because I was, like, pre-mechas. That was pre... a bunch of stuff, Hate Beasts, like all those projects with crazy hype that just didn't deliver. That was like probably one of the first ones.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is like it almost feels sketchy now that you've seen what the project did. Like so many of these things are like rugs. They're like slow rugs. Maybe there's some Sevens fans that'll come after me over this, but actually I quite frankly don't even think that there are. I feel like there's not going to be any messages like, "Yo, why you shit talking the
Bro,
Sevens?"
you
You know?
funded my Sevens bag.
No one cares about the Sevens. But then obviously Azuki came out, and Azuki was the heavy hitter. And then now we've seen some other stuff. Shonen Junk emerging as like,
Bro, Mr.
yeah,
Yellow messaged me about that when there was like 200 minted and was like, bro, Crunchyroll founder, I know you know what that is. Look into it. And I faded it so hard, like beyond faded Shonen Junk. I am still kicking myself because that thing just ripped. We saw Frenelations make a live trade for half an ETH off of a
yeah.
Power Ranger. Like, this project has just been like sitting there in my nightmares because I was told about it so early and just faded. Just didn't even think to look at it more than once.
Yeah, exactly. And like now that you bring that up, that is so funny because Mr. Yellow basically got on stage and was like screaming at us to buy it, and I had like an adverse response to that. I thought that
Same
he
way, I was like,
like
bro, you're showing me your bags, and then like I didn't look into it at all, and he still sends me stuff, and the team is so legit. I'm so dumb. I'm like, this man was just conviction. He traded his conviction, believed in it, did his research, and ran with it. And I cannot knock him at all. Like, I am listening to Yellow here on out because that man researches.
Yeah, I mean, look, shout out to Mr. Yellow, man. I didn't mean to fade you, or actually, I did mean to fade you at the time, but I was wrong to fade you. Is the reality of the situation? And you know, we got a quality team. We have a female artist and founder. Like you said, you know, all those kind of that infrastructure that you're talking about running the project like an actual business. You know, these are the things that you kind of look for. And again, you know. There's the example of notable NFT people being interested. You see the Dingling's floor sweep. You see Gremplin and Betty supporting the project early on, sporting their honoraries, talking about how much they like them. And there was always going to be an anime vertical in the NFT space. There were always going to be anime wins. So I'll be very curious to see where this goes. I've been staying away from profile picture type projects or projects that are 100% art based, but I was very comfortable minting this. I knew that at least this was going to happen. I knew it was going to be at least a run to 0.3 or something. It looks like it's basically gone to 0.5. But yeah, I mean, look, we're going to see where it goes. I believe reveal is 24 hours after the sellout. I just looked and it looks like it is sold out. So I don't know, I don't know exactly when the reveal will be, but my assumption is it's sometime tomorrow, as long as they stay up on that.
I think they will too. Like I said, that tweet that they put out was very well done. It was like post sellout. They talked about what the plan was with it all, where they were kind of navigating this and how they structured the project. Multi-sig wallet for all funds. I'm like, this is just well thought out. You come from the space. It's nice to see. And it seems like that's the projects that are mooning right now, are people who actually have spent time in the trenches and been working in the Web3 area, you know?
For sure. Have you looked at this, Lobstars?
Yeah, I've been seeing the art, and it's, dude, these things look ridiculous, but people love them. Like, that's like, it's like one of those things. I feel like this is such a meme type project, but I worry because we saw a bunch of these right after Quirkies, where it was like just kind of fun art. They pumped to like 0.15, 0.16 before now settling at like 0.02, you know? And I'm worried that's what's going to happen here. I once again, though, I know nothing about this project. Like, I've just seen it shared in the Discord. I laugh when I see them. I think lobsters are hilarious. Like, it's a project we definitely haven't seen from like an animal perspective.
Yeah, so I guess what I would say about this one is doing its thing because of the artist. The artist is known. This is his art style and I guess a character that he created, right? So that's the same story as Cool Man's Universe. I don't think that this artist has as big of a reach as Dan from Cool Man's Universe has. I'm not sure. I could be wrong about that, but I think Dan had a bigger like Instagram following, a bigger following in general. Like the IP was more built out, but this artist is very popular in that in his world. And there's other examples of this. Shout out Matt Chesko from Pop Art Cats, right? I'm looking for a positive market response for Goop Dudes is another example. Yeah, I think that's definitely a good call out too. I just don't
That was
think.
another project, man.
Yeah, yeah. It's another one. It's similar, but I don't see the market necessarily having sustained interest in projects like this. That's the thing. So I stayed away, or I guess I had allow list. Like Eric pinged me, and he was just like, "Yo, I didn't know that these were gonna pump, but you're on the allow list for this. You should probably buy it." So I bought it, and I did sell them in both my personal wallet and the community, or excuse me, the company wallet. But like, I can't. I don't know if it's going to pump given where the market's at right now. If it
Mhm.
does, that's going to be very, very interesting. It's not out of the question. And I mean, look, this artist now has made a 7-figure payday from the primary sale, which I have to think is like the biggest 24-hour period payday that the
It's
artist
got
has
to be
ever seen.
right.
Gotta be. And like this is their life. This is what they do. He's not gonna go now start like a car tire company or something like that. Like this is his thing. So I do think that long term there could be some sustained action with this one. But I don't know about buying in right now. Like what are your thoughts?
I would not buy this right now. Like,
Okay.
I just wouldn't. I feel like you need a catalyst right now. Everyone's yelling about utility. Like, we saw Drift catch a bunch of pushback on Twitter for not giving immediate utility to his first day out. And it was all the way down to point one. I wish I saw it at point one. I would have tried to absolutely buy a few of those. That's back up to like 0.17.
Drift
Eh,
is
yeah. Oh, yeah. I
nice.
was looking at it today and I was like, damn, I missed that. I missed that little dump. Would have been a quick little 2x. But then on top of it too, like this project, I just like it seems like it's another one of those 10K from an artist. They're gonna build a brand around it, similar to Coolman's, but Coolman's has that first mover's advantage.
Yep.
Had all the Disney rumors. It has just all those right things in it, and people also can kind of relate it. This almost looks like a claymation. It reminds me of like Gumby. So like I don't know if I would dive into that. And it's like I don't know the artist. It's tough for me to buy into projects that I have done minimal research on, unless I already see a 5x on the floor. Then I'll ape those Galverses again.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Easy's looking at this as a trade and a short,
Absolutely.
a short to maybe between short and medium time frame and time horizon. And so that's the way he's framing this. This doesn't mean that this artist isn't going to build in the space for the next 8 months, and
Yeah, or
crush.
longer. They could make this a brand. They could make this a show. They could make this a product line, etc. But for me, like I trade in very short time windows with
Yeah.
very few exceptions. There's like even my ETH wallet now has become more of those like longer term holds that I'm just letting sit because I really believe in the people backing them. Which that honestly might even fit into that category if I knew the creator more. But like right now for quick buys, what I'm looking for right now, those isolated wins, it's like shorter time frames because I really don't know how comfortable I feel with the underlying asset. Like ETH could pump here or it could drop. It's been trading that 3K line for a while, hovering right around it, which is usually consolidation before a breakout, which clearly, as we've seen in the year now cycles, that underlying asset has a big cause and effect, especially on low cap projects.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty gnarly participating in the NFT space because of the Ethereum being a volatile asset and these things not being priced in US dollars. It can be pretty crazy. So I'm going to move on to a project that me and Easy have talked about and we do own it, okay? But at the end of the day, we can talk about things that we know and we know about this and we kind of have some updates on this. Oh, it's down at 1.4.
Down to 1.4. I was
Let's
just looking. I was like, look how thin it is, though. And we talk about this project every day, but it's like every day I'm continually impressed with what they've done. Like last night, I'm getting pinged on my phone. I'm trying to sleep. I wake up at like 3 a.m. Just couldn't rest, and I look at my phone, and it's like 5 people from the Lemonade Discord. Like, hey, they're talking about the video. Cole's in the voice chat talking about the video, and I'm like, that is unreal. I get messaged by a few people on Twitter as well saying the same thing from Dorito. And he was like, hey, we're talking about the video in the voice chat if you can join. And I'm sitting there like, damn, I woke up 4 hours too late. Would have been able to have a back and forth about it. It would have been next level. And like, because it's such a small community, you can have a creator that's more tapped into that. And like, we've talked about a few of those things. Dorito was on the space this morning. They got the full supply chain for not just clothing, but a beverage. Like they can do so much cool stuff with like random drops and stuff. I don't know. The potential's endless.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And I think 1.4, like that's a more attractive price for me to buy a second one than 1.6. I'm sure some DGen watching this is going to snipe that and take it away from us. But the updates are that Cole Bennett, the artist or, the creator of this, the CEO of Lyrical Lemonade, and the reason that you and I bought, he watched the video, the first video where we kind of went into depth, on this project. And he commented on the video from the
Crazy.
official Lyrical Lemonade profile and signed it Cole. And apparently, yeah, it's been discussed in the Discord and stuff. So they're keeping their ears to the ground. I'm really excited about it. One of the team members that you just mentioned came on stage during our show today, so that was super cool. But yeah, I mean, look, it's very, very interesting to me, and it's cool to see the team actually building. Those are the updates. Is basically you and me, and especially you, getting some serious street cred from just being involved and like talking a little bit of talk for the project. It's been pretty cool to see.
It just feels crazy. It makes me even more excited to like make a conscious effort to go to the real world events that they actually do. So like if they roll out some stuff at NFT NYC, which I did reach out to them, I was like, hey, are you guys going to be there? And they're like, oh, absolutely. A few of us at least. We're definitely going to be trying to be around. So I'm excited to just meet them, and like it's people that I feel like I would hang out with, and talk to. So it's cool to find that small little community. Ooh, cool. These bring me back to the 1ETH challenge days. We need another one of those sooner than later. This was Micah swung on these and exited perfectly. Now that we think back to it,
Yeah. I mean, these they're here. They're here, baby. So shout out to the Cool Cats dropping these eggs. The Cool Pet's about to hatch, it seems. Cooltopia going live. Very, very cool stuff to see from Cool Cats. And, I think that there's going to be some serious action there. No one's going to really like remember the period where these things weren't hatched. They'll just remember the aftermath. So very, very dope stuff.
so they're going to be different pets for these different animals. Like I have not looked into it just because like I personally don't care about Cool Cats exposure, and that'll probably get me canceled. But like for me, I was just kind of like, I'm fading this. I don't know how I feel about it. I really don't know much. I know they're dropping a game, but like, yeah.
Well, look, yeah, they're building it out, right? Like they're building it out. This is the airdrop, the companion drop to Cool Cats. They got a game going. It looks like they have some kind of, they're doing maybe something with Other Side because the Cool Cat is in that Other Side video. It's just being built out, man. And it's one of the most established and one of the biggest projects in the NFT space. And the IP is, it's big time IP. It's IP that could have global appeal. So it's going to be really cool to see how Cool Cats develop and what happens with these cool pets in Cooltopia. It says right now, cool pets are flying. So everyone should have been buying these, yesterday.
Yeah. So it costs 1 ETH to hash these, somebody's saying. So I mean, like for me now, I'm like, oh shit, maybe I should quickly try to get a hold of some milk in the milk token, because that could be an auxiliary play on this.
Does it definitely cost? So you have to, I don't know about that. You have to buy the cool pet and then pay the 1 ETH to hatch. Look, I'm uninformed here. I don't want to say anything that is incorrect. So definitely do your own research on this. Or if someone in the chat wants to objectively confirm that there is a fee to hatch the cool pet, and it so in other words, you buy the cool pet and then you pay a fee to hatch it, let us know. But I do not have that intel, and I don't want to speak out of turn here. But either way, I mean, this is a big news story in the NFT space, because it is, again, one of the most notable projects having a big news event and a big development that goes towards the thing that they've been building for, at this point, months.
Yeah. So I am glad to see that it finally kind of picked up and that they're moving again. Yeah, I mean, I think it is that time again. We're going to start to see some of these mid shifts pick up speed, pick up pace across the board. Like I'm now circling back to some of those other auxiliary plays, whether it is secondaries. Like I'm always a huge supporter of the Bored Ape Kennel Dogs this year, with their roadmap seeming to be focused on that. This looks interesting. I am curious to see some of these other secondaries. Like if we still continue to look at like the other gutter plays, where the clones settle once everybody finalizes those mutations. There's just a lot of those alt plays that you can start to find and start to play into, and even get that lower entry to exposure. Like the 10KTF ecosystem, we talk about it all the time, but there's a million different ways to get in there and actually try to like figure out ways to find some of those lagging trades if you are an active trader. But yeah, this is interesting. Do we know when the game goes live?
I don't want to speak out of turn. Okay. And Joris Voet, who is confidently responding, saying 1 ETH is the cost to obtain enough milk to fully hatch the pet. Otherwise, there are 10 quests a day to earn milk, or you can stake the eggs to earn milk passively. So a little bit of a tokenomics play there. Should be interesting. Someone also called out 10KTF news in 90 minutes. Very exciting stuff. Wonder what the 10K TF floor is at here. I think it's probably at least a half ETH.
For the clothes items?
Yeah, the like the core 10K TF collection. I think the floor is probably a half ETH.
Let's
Let's
take a look
see.
here. I was just looking at the Gucci collab collection. That's just under 1 still. The apes are still over like 1.7. It was a sell right when you burn those to get that hidden box one. Right when they announced that what like the code was and you could sell the code, that's what the move was. Because man, those things were like anywhere from 3 to 5 that night.
Yeah, I mean that was really. I should have been selling. I don't even want to talk about it. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm irresponsibly long on NFTs right now in the sense that I just have way too many. It's just completely out of control. So I need to like look at the portfolio and try to balance it a little bit, because it's way out of hand. But at the same time, look, I'm in the game. We're doing our thing. You're gonna see Easy Eats come on Saturday for a Solana show. So everyone look forward to that. A little bit of a different vibe. Make sure you follow him on Twitter at Easy Eats Bodega. Easy, as usual, is a pleasure, man.
No, always thank you for having me. Love to be on.